That is a great question. And I want to change the language a little bit because I don't see myself in competition with Nancy. I think that anybody who runs for office and holds themselves out there as to be a public servant should be honest, frankly. Because it's not easy. I've been on the school board for 8 years, and I know that, the minute I got on the school board, people started treating me differently. People who I thought were friends were like, you turned into one of them. It's like, no, I'm just an advocate who's down inside the system. I think that Nancy should be honored for 12 years of giving to this community and taking away from time with family and others. I just think that 12 years is long enough. That's just my thought, right? I think Sean is a younger person who has been working in this community and living here for 6 years, working with some of the hardest to work with youth in the city, should be commended. I've done similar work. I know how hard it is to work with the population that he's dealing with, and Covenant House is doing good work. So I'm glad for that. I think the differences have to do mostly with approach. Because we've been around each other now for the last couple of weeks, hearing each other's ideas, and the issues aren't really that different. The question is who has the experience, the energy, the enthusiasm, the innovative spirit to actually operate differently, to create a better culture on the council, to create a better sense of listening to the community. When I go out and talk to some of the people in the 35th and San Pablo area, they feel like they've been ignored. And they've got some of the harshest conditions to deal with in the city. When I talk to my middle class friends, they feel like, well, where's the recreational and the social stuff that should be happening? Yeah, and people keep saying it's coming. It's coming. And they're ready for it now. People want to see something happen after that investment of time. So I think that the differences that you're going to hear have more to do with approach. Maybe some of it has to do with experience, but I think that that experience balanced with, sometimes experience is not so great. Because you then begin to limit your options. You begin to say there's some things that I can't do because we tried it already. And I think that we got to have some more enthusiastic, energetic leadership to take us into the next era for the role of
You have one more minute.
Oh, you were holding your hand. You got me trained well now. All right, I think that's mostly what I wanted to say. But I do want to again say I like the question because I think, and I've challenged us to do this, and I hope that people take it seriously. No matter who wins the election, we're going to all still be living. We're going to all still have some very unique and important skills to offer to the community, no matter what part of the city we choose to work in. Oakland is a beautiful city that has lots of challenges. So I'm hoping that no matter what happens, that Sean doesn't kind of disappear back in the Covenant House, that Nancy won't disappear in the chocolate company, whatever she does, I won't disappear in whatever I do if I don't win. I mean, I think that's really it's a different kind of ethic. I don't see it as a competition. I'm a happy person now. I'm going to be a happy person no matter what happens on June 3rd or in November. And I hope you feel the same way. I hope you feel like whatever you do, you contribute something back to this community no matter what happens in this election. And that we keep it at a certain level so that we can actually still work with each other and not turn into some personal thing. I don't take it personal. I got pretty thick skin after being on the school board for 8 years. And I'm an attorney, so I get a lot of attorney jokes too. So, I think that my decent sense of humor on this stuff kind of keeps me healthy, and my family definitely keeps me honest. When I go home at night, they say, take out the garbage bag.
A friend of mine who I love really once told me about the way she deals with solving problems in her relationship, and she starts always with, I appreciate this about you, but I resent this about you. And it's sort of that kind of a question, but I think it is very important for us to always look at what's positive in everyone we deal with as well, and I appreciate the question for that. With respect to Mr. Hodge, I think he's an excellent speaker and a hell of a drummer. I hope if you haven't ever heard his drums, that would really be inspiring to you. What our differences are, I think my experience as a policymaker, I've certainly been in West Oakland longer than either of us, and I don't see experience as something that boxed me into old thinking. I think of all the people on the council, I am the one who is continually bringing new ideas to the council, even though I am one of the oldest and have been there for a really long time. So I don't think experience is a detriment at all. I think experience is really important to understand where the bodies are buried, where the money is hidden, and how we can get policies done, knowing the personalities of the other people on the council. With respect to John, I respect the fact that he raises money for some of the most disenfranchised young people in our city. I really admire the fact that he has chosen to do that as his profession. Where we differ on policy is in several areas. Inclusionary zoning. I support inclusionary zoning. He does not. He supports the measure that's about to, that the people are collecting signatures for to go on the ballot that would ask for 1,100 police officers with no new taxes to pay for it. That would devastate our parks and our libraries. It just is totally impractical. We also have differences on industrial land preservation. He's being supported by many of the developers who wanted all the industrial land to go to upscale housing, and I felt like we needed a balance. So those are some of the areas of difference that I perceive as we go through the campaign trail.
Thank you. When I was becoming a yoga teacher about 6 years ago, we did an exercise where we were giving feedback to people, and we had this approach called sandwiching. So you would give two positives, and in between them you would share a negative about somebody, right? This format doesn't call for that. I'll give two positives, though I'm a little touched on it, and I don't want to spend my time shadowing differences, defending myself and what I think have been mischaracterizations by the incumbent around my policy. But what I will say is that Nancy has been a great advocate. She has for our disenfranchised, for the young people that I work with, for those that are living at the margins. And I think that, I applauded earlier, I think that we do need to appreciate that about the council member. But I also think that she's really has done some pioneering work around reentry and working to support programs that existed and helping to create new programs around getting people out, people who are reentering our society, and how we can make them enter the workforce and how they can re-enter society without causing crime along those lines. That being said, I think the differentiations are that I am not somebody who believes solely in theory, but believes in results, that results matter and that we need action now. And that as we are in 2008 in Oakland, we are really at a time where we could see a renaissance and a rejuvenation in Oakland, or we could allow the problems that we have to continue to mar us. And I don't think that that if the council member continues on for another 4 years, we're going to see any real change, the change that this community deserves. Let me say, and I'm trying to do this with yoga breath. I'm trying not to feel the tension about some of our differences and how they can characterize. Look, there are people, as we talked about earlier, and I talked about jobs as being a solution for, and ways in which you could create jobs as a way we could solve public safety crisis and so forth. There are people right now engaging in an action to try and get more cops on the street, to mandate it in our charter. And I did say, yes, that if this is what the community wants, if you, the citizens, are saying, we are fed up with you, the council, and you, the mayor, and this is not working, and that we're going to demand this, then yes, I will work with you to make this happen. I think this is something that is important, okay? In terms of industrial land, and again, I wanted to do the contrast, but what I think was very important about that is I don't think that Mandela Parkway should continue to look like it looks. I think that it should be an area for retail, and I think a mixed-use zoning policy for Mandela Parkway is something that could put our young people to work right away by creating jobs right in those communities, the core of West Oakland. And I also was very concerned about, as somebody who, when we talk about housing, is not down to displacement, is someone who is very concerned about the artists that we invited in over the last decade into West Oakland and taken on some of those warehouses, that we were going to displace them. And I was proud to be part of the group that partnered with the new organization, Artists in Oakland, that was able to get the zoning changed by working with the city council incumbents around this issue, making an election year issue.